Welcome in, Dad Bod Golf Pod. He's Kyle Rush. I'm Ben Taylor. We're brought to you by, who are we brought to you by, Kyle?
We'll talk about the Blue Tees and Primo
Blue
Golf.
Tees, that's right, Blue Tees. We'll talk about that a little bit later on. It's been a while since we've done this, as you can clearly tell.
Yeah, we're still getting our feet getting our feet back under us.
Yeah, the thing is we got to make sure we give them the right love. But one thing that I wanted to bring up, and we'll start this out with the first bullet point is I don't know if you saw it, but a couple of weeks ago, Colin Morikawa had lost our good buddy Russell Henley from Columbus, Georgia.
Yeah,
and he ghosted the media afterwards. There's some people that said he choked. I told you that I love the Arnold Palmer, so I watched the entire thing pretty much Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. That was kind of the last weekend of regular season basketball, and the games were played at times where it allowed me to watch a lot of golf. I didn't think that he choked the thing away. I mean, I think he shot even or maybe one under on the final day, Colin did, but he solidified everybody's opinion that he choked it away because he just left. He didn't talk to any of the media afterwards. Brandel Chambly came out. He's always got a hot take on things like this. I agree with Brandel on this one. Said he shouldn't have done that. It's poor sport. Kind of know your role as a golfer and what you should do and what you shouldn't do. Rocco Media, I do agree with what he said. If the old man Arnold Palmer would have been there, Rocco said he'd have gone out and got him from signing autographs and brought his ass back in there to face the music of talking to the media. So I didn't like it, but it's because one of my side jobs is actually being a part of the real media. Sure. And I'm one of those that win, lose, or draw, I think that is part of your responsibility. In college sports, it's the coach's responsibility. He can't just ghost the post-game press conference and then show up when he wins. With golf, it's individuals. So, yeah, you can't send your agent to talk for you. You don't want your caddy talking for you. So part of your responsibility, I think, is to face the music afterwards and do post-round interviews. And so I didn't like what he did. And then he doubled down after the players during the players. They asked him. So you're in agreement with him. You don't mind him doing this.
I'm not necessarily in agreement with him. I just don't know that I don't know that I care. I don't know that it bothers me enough to where I'm like mad at Colin Morikawa. For all intents and purposes, he's been a model PGA guy. He's been pro PGA guy. He does all the appearances. He's doing TGL. He's doing all the things. And why do we want to just, what are you going to ask him? What were you thinking? Should you hit? What was your thinking when you tugged one into the bunker? Hell, I don't know. I just tugged it into the bunker. Like, what do you really, it's one thing when you're interviewing a coach and he makes a decision in a game that you can go back to and say, hey, if you would have done this or that. I mean, how many of those decisions are there really in golf? Like, I guess you could say, should you have gone for it on a par 5 versus laying up? I mean, there's different things there, but I mean, I just don't know. Golf's just different to me. It's not a team. Yeah. It's not a team thing. I don't know. It does not bother me as much as people are making it out to be. And hey, I think you get a pass every now and then. You're pissed off. It's a lot of money. You had the lead. Some dude came out of nowhere and blew it up, and you lost, even though you didn't play that bad of a round. I think you got to look at a little bit of their past resume and how they've participated and how they interact with the media. Golf to me sometimes becomes let's find somebody that did something wrong more than anything. We look for reasons to be mad more so than we look for reasons to make the game better, in my opinion, especially with the media. It's like, oh, so-and-so wasn't a gentleman, or so-and-so did something that wasn't sportsman. Like that's what we're constantly trying to find. And I think that's what turns people off a lot about golf and the golf media. I could be way wrong. That's just my take.
So I had two feelings on this. I was kind of with you after Bay Hill, after he didn't show up. Because I was sitting there going, you know what? Yeah, F him. Don't show up. Like, you just blew it. Go Go drink. Go get drunk. Go have a big time. I guess I had a bigger issue in the press conference at the Players when he doubled down on it.
Oh, so he did a press conference at the Players.
At the Players, yes, yeah. And
Okay.
so when he doubled down on it at the Players and said, I don't owe y'all anything.
I'm sorry, I keep interrupting you.
No, he said, I don't owe you anything. I don't owe anybody anything. I didn't have to do that. And so that, I mean, I wanted, it sucked. I didn't want to talk to anybody, so I left. You mentioned the things that people look for. I think at that point he should have said, yeah, I kind of screwed you guys. I probably should have at least given you a quote or something, or stopped and had a statement or something of that nature. But then he tried to justify it, but he's like, I mean, what are you mad at? I signed autographs. Okay. Congrats, I guess.
I mean, you just been pooped on for a whole week. Like everybody's mad at you after you already lost the tournament that you didn't talk to them. And then they question you again while you're talking to them. Like you're there to talk about the Players, and they're asking you about this tournament that you lost the week prior. And the big sticking point is you didn't talk to us after. And that hurt our feelings. And we're mad. We think you should apologize.
But I think it goes beyond hurting feelings. I think it goes beyond that, because sitting in some of those press rooms and some of these guys, especially the print guys need a quote. They got to, in order to put content out, in order to put that kind of thing in writing, whether it be new. I mean, him acting that way allows us to have content. Sure. That doesn't go over so well when you're reading about it in a magazine article or a newspaper. So I think
don't you have the ability to do what we're doing though? Now your story is he's mad he wouldn't even talk to the media. I mean,
that goes to a whole nother. We're gonna piss some writers off if I say that.
I mean, it's content one way or the other. You just got to you just got to maybe make your job a little bit tougher. But again, what would you rather him do, Ben? Would you rather him sign autographs? I know you're probably gonna say I'd rather him do both, but if you got to pick one, which one would you rather him do? I'd rather him sign the autographs for the kids that or the fans that are there waiting in line. I barely care what people have to say after a win. I sure as hell don't care what Colin Morikawa has to say after a loss with a bunch of guys that are, double-digit handicaps trying to second guess this guy who's got laser sharp focus and accuracy more than not. One of the best players in the world. Why he did, something that maybe they think he shouldn't have. And I know that you could say that about every sports reporter, but I don't know. I don't think it's that big. I don't think it's. I'm on Colin's side here. Hey, give me a pass every now and then. Jeez, let's let it go.
But see, I think if he says like that, if he says just what you just said, I think that goes over way better than the way he did it.
Maybe so.
Where he says, "I don't owe you anything."
I don't think he does, but maybe you're right. Maybe if he said it the way I said it,
and that leads to what we're going to talk about next, with like TV coverage. Like golf already has a problem with viewers, and I don't necessarily think him going, well, I don't care if you're listening to me, watching me or not. I don't have to talk to anybody. I don't know that that's the road you go. I honestly am surprised like Monahan hasn't reached out to him and said, hey, I get it. You were pissed. You didn't want to talk to him. But when you come back out here on Monday for a practice round, don't say, hey, by the way, I still don't give a you-know-what that I didn't talk to you. Like handle the response a little bit better than
the viewers, though. The viewers are the ones he was signing autographs for.
Yeah, I agree. They weren't viewing. They were there. They were present.
But they will be viewers now.
They will be viewers now.
Because he signed autographs, not because he didn't go, into a press conference that nobody's probably going to see or read anyway. I think he probably did help viewership by making sure he did the autographs. I think we're just, I don't know. I'm just not super.
Caught because I don't know if you remember, Tiger went through this early 2000s. And I do agree with like what Rocco said. And I know Rocco sounds like the old man because he is an old man. But he says, if you'd have won or if you'd have held off or if you birdie 17 and 18 to win the tournament, I bet you're sitting in there to talk to him.
Of course.
So,
because you're not mad.
So you gotta be graceful in defeat. Like he went on this whole thing, and I was like, I know what he's getting at, because they did this with Tiger. Tiger did this a couple of times where he didn't finish strong in a tournament. He just left. He didn't stay, and he didn't give and people just ridiculed him for it. Now, Colin is no Tiger, so he does not move the needle like Tiger does.
Right.
But I get some, and I wouldn't have been one that was butthurt that he left. I think that it probably bothered me more when he was like, "Yeah, F you guys, I didn't want to stay." That bothered me. His response the following week. But that leads to this TV coverage. So I've watched a lot of golf as of late. I know
I've watched more.
You've been traveling. You've watched more. Yeah. Kyle's been traveling. He's had some family stuff, all that kind of stuff. So the tour introduced this thing called Fan Forward. I didn't get it. They surveyed 50,000 golf fans. Again, this is another thing PGA Tour is doing that's stupid. You should have just put the survey up on your website, so you could have got more than 50,000 people that would have done it. Instead of reaching out to 50,000 people individually, here's a novel idea. They could have run a friggin' Twitter poll, and they could have gotten better response than this. So, so a program has identified a roadmap to fixing what can be fixed on telecasts. And it includes more live golf shots. So all that playing through crap that you and I hate. More player caddy interaction, which actually that's the one thing they have done more of. By the way, coach your caddies. Everything they say is being caught on camera and on microphone now, by the way. And then an increased focus on cut line battles. Now, everybody goes, well, they did that this past weekend. Well, they had to. JT was setting a course record in order to make the cut, so they had to show that. There was no way of getting out of that. And according to multiple tour people, the modifications include new focus group tested shot sequence, so where that way they show fewer tap ins and a greater number of golf shots per minute. The last 2 weeks, they're still doing playing through. I'm still seeing people tap in before they go to break or coming out of break. I still don't, and I hate to sound like they did it better in the old days, but whatever happened to just recording a shot and coming back from break and playing that particular shot?
Yes. This is one thing that I lose on Live when I watch Live, and the PGA Tour, I feel like, is trying to adopt maybe too much of that. You're losing the storyline. I feel like you're losing storylines trying to show too many shots. It's too hard to keep up with unless you have started watching on Thursday and you're following along the whole way. It's hard to jump into a tournament on let's just say Saturday. It's hard to jump into a tournament on Saturday and really know the big storylines and what's going on and who's doing what, because we're just trying to show shot after shot after shot after shot and play through and shot. I don't agree with that survey. I don't agree with that at all. I think they need to do a better job of storytelling. Mm-hmm. And they used to do this when, like you just mentioned, sometimes it's been to the, sometimes they've blown it. You know what I mean? Like the time at the Masters when, who was it? Nick Faldo spoiled it that they're about to go back and show a hole out. Like that stuff happens. But that to me is what always made golf coverage fun to watch. Is like you're trying to follow along a storyline. You're kind of caught up in this like moving, like this movie. You're caught up in a movie, mm-hmm. and there's a protagonist and antagonist, and they're telling, like, again, and you got the commentators that are painting the picture of what's going on, and we've lost that completely. That's why I can't watch Live. I love the golfers. I love who's all out there. I can't watch Live where I have no idea where someone is on the course. Only way I know how many holes they have left is to look up in the top left corner, and it tells you how many's left to play. They're all over the place. It's not good television. Golf is a hard sport to televise, and to me, the only way you can do it is to go back to the way it was, back in, Tiger's day, or it doesn't even seem like it was that far long ago whenever it was just, I thought the coverage was much better.
No, I agree.
It just seems like let's get as many shots as we can in 4 hours or however long it is.
Exactly.
On TV.
And they say they're moving towards that. I don't know why that's so hard to move towards, because I've actually worked in TV trucks before at a previous job, and
seems like it'd be harder. what they're doing is harder.
It's almost like they're trying not to show more shots. It's like they're working harder to do. I go back. The biggest example I can think of as of late was last year when Nick Dunlap won as an amateur before he turned pro. We didn't see him hardly hit a shot until Sunday. That was a hell of a storyline. This amateur was moving up the board, made the cut, got into the final group on Sunday, and it was like, now we got to show him. He's in the final group. He's going to blow it. And I was sitting there, and I get they got their favorites. I mean, you're going to show Tiger. You're going to show the smiley thing they do on Fridays with Ricky at the Players. That was awesome. I loved having that, especially having Kiz up there because Ricky beat Kiz on that playoff. So Kiz kept throwing it in there. He was like, I guess we're going to have to literally watch this 100 times.
That was great.
I mean, that was fantastic. So that kind of stuff I do love. But when you go back to that tournament last year that Dunlap won, nobody knew who he was until Sunday. And they didn't know who he was until Sunday at about 3:30 in the afternoon.
Got to tell the story. It's tough to watch golf in general, but you got to tell the story. Hey, Ben, this is completely off topic and sidebar, and you have no idea what I'm about to say. But
no, I don't.
Scottie's Masters menu just dropped.
Oh, so
you want me to go over his Masters menu?
I would love for that's not on the docket, but I would love.
I want you to.
You know what? We can do when to pick up another time. Let's go over the menu.
Yeah. So
this is quality stuff.
Yeah, this is big time. So I want you to guess the main course. If you just had to guess.
Okay, so he's going to have he's got some sort of steak. It's going to be.
Nailed it. Yeah, wood-fired cowboy ribeye.
Yes.
Or
he's a Texas guy. You got to do Texas steaks.
Yeah. Wood-fired cowboy ribeye or blackened redfish. So that's a good one. Listen to it. Family style macaroni and cheese, jalapeno cream corn, soy glazed Brussels sprouts, chipotle, lime, roasted sweet potatoes. Give me some of that. Here's your appetizers. You ready for this? I mean, this sounds like I want this every night of my whole life. I'd be at 500 pounds. But appetizers, you got cheeseburger sliders. Love it.
He's really leaning into the beef here. I mean, cheeseburger followed by steak.
Firecracker shrimp. Shout out Bonefish or whatever it is that does those firecracker shrimp Wednesdays or Thursdays. Send the check. Papa Chef's meatball and ravioli bites. Let's go.
Meatball of it.
Yeah.
Is that a meatball that you wrap like a ravioli? I don't know.
I gotta look that up.
Be great to have the invitation.
Yeah, and then for dessert, you have a warm chocolate chip skillet cookie with vanilla bean ice cream, served in honor of Mr. Scottie Scheffler. Grade that meal right there, Ben.
Oh, at my house, that's if we're going from a 1 to 10, that's like a 9.8 in my book.
9.8. Ooh,
I could eat steak. I'm one of these people. I could eat steak every day.
I could eat only steak.
My cardiologist would absolutely be. I mean, he'd be sitting there. What are you doing? You're going to kill yourself. To back that up with a cheeseburger slider, or to preempt it, slider,
not back it up. You're kicking it off with a
cheeseburger slider, and they're like, "Oh wait, there's more." It's like being on the Oprah show. Like, "Oh wait, there's more." And
let's say you have a heart attack. You have a heart attack, right? And you're telling your doctor, "What have you been eating?" Well, let's talk about what you had for dinner last night. Well, started it off with cheeseburger sliders. That's not good. Did you just
that's the thing. Oh, that's not good.
That's not good. That's tough right there. That's strike one. Okay. What did you have for your first course? I skipped this one, Ben. I skipped this one. What'd you have for your first course after that? Texas style chili, cheddar cheese, jalapenos, and
more
corn
beef
chips.
In there. More beef.
Yeah. Okay, well, you stopped there, I'm sure. You ended it right there. No, Doc, no, I didn't. Right after that, I had a wood-fired cowboy ribeye. Well, maybe that's all you had. The steak, okay, we're good. No, that's not it. I had macaroni and cheese, creamed corn, which takes all the nutrition out of the corn, but it tastes so good. Sauteed Brussels sprouts. Soy glazed Brussels sprouts.
That's the only healthy thing that you and I have eaten thus far.
Yeah, I know. I got to feel like that soy glaze probably has some cholesterol in it. I don't 100% know. And then some chipotle lime roasted sweet potatoes to polish it off. Well, at least you stopped there. No, I did not. I did not actually. Right after that, I had a warm chocolate chip skillet cookie. My God, son, are you trying to kill yourself? What are you doing?
No, a warm skillet chocolate chip with
With
vanilla
ice.
bean ice
At least
cream.
you didn't do ice cream. Oh wait, yeah, I did. I had vanilla bean ice cream on top of it. What a
Golly,
menu! That's A+.
They're going to be hungover from food.
You got to have that one on like Monday. When is the Champions Dinner's Tuesday night, isn't it?
Yeah, it's Tuesday night. So they get the Wednesday practice round to kind of walk it off.
Yeah.
Not to mention, I'm sure at that dinner, surely there's some adult beverages consumed amongst the fellas that are sitting in there. I've said before, I wish when they do a documentary on Augusta, they will at least allow one camera into a Champions Dinner.
But don't tell anybody. And then make it like pay-per-view or something. Like you got to pay for it. Like don't
I
tell
would
anybody.
I would pay $100 for it.
Easy.
I mean, that would be one that my wife would be like, "Why did you pay $150 to watch guys eat dinner?"
Everybody's mic'd up, but nobody knows it somehow. I don't know how you do that, but somebody said the whole thing.
Just those drop mics from like the ceiling. It just picks up everything in the room.
Yeah, I would kill for that. The stories and then the everything.
And I want it. We got to do it too before some of them die off, like some of the characters, like you know what I mean? Yeah. Like the John Daly's of the world. Like this needs to happen soon before he.
That's the one you went with first. I mean, Jack Nicklaus can barely walk around, and you go with John Daly first, which is probably not that far of a reach.
After that meal and all the beer he drinks, I'm telling you, man, it may not be long. So it would be. It would be, I mean, even Phil coming back and telling stories. I mean, before any of these guys just decide to call it quits and don't come back for this kind of thing, it would be fantastic for them to do so. Never going to happen because Augusta National's not going to allow it to happen, but it would be very cool if it did. So yeah, out of a 10, that's a 9-8 dinner in my opinion. And listen, you probably get the 10 out of me if you don't put those damn Brussels sprouts in there.
Oh, I love Brussels sprouts. I
love them too. But if you're going to start with a cheeseburger slider,
how do you get there? I don't know how anybody gets there. How do you get past?
It's almost like he picked out all the meat, and then his wife said, "You got to have a vegetable. you got to put something." And he's like, cream corn." She's like, "No, like something that's
jalapeno cream corn, not just any cream corn.
Exactly, jalapeno cream corn." So,
is it just a complete race to the bathroom after this meal with a bunch of grown men that are probably suboptimally athletic? Is it just a complete and utter mad dash to the bathroom?
I don't know, because you look at some of them that are sitting in there and they're not in the shape that like Colin Morikawa and Tiger Woods are, like slender and thin, and some of those hefty boys are like, you're not going to eat the rest of that cowboy ribeye?
Pass me that old fat end right there. I want to finish off that gristle.
Then you got to wonder the people that are in there that are like super healthy. Like JT's talked about his. Of course, he's not going to be in there, but you got to wonder the people that are super healthy. I'm trying to think of even Tiger. Tiger doesn't eat sweets. Like I'm grabbing his cookie. I'm like, hey, bro, I need the cookie in the. But you already had one.
Orders the redfish, or you just lamb blasting them?
There's no that's when the cameras come out. I'm taking pictures. I'm going, this idiot.
Ben, when you eat a steak, do you eat the whole thing? Just
yes,
from start to finish. You're not one of those trim off that you just go straight.
The fat makes it good.
Flavor. That's flavor.
There's
no remnant of a steak left on my plate when I get finished. It's everything. Sop it up.
Again, this is off topic a little bit, but like I watch those cooking videos when they do like those cowboy ribeyes and they like cut the meat off the bone.
Give me that bone.
I'm like, look how much you left on the bone. Like, what are you doing?
Give me that bone. I got a little chewing to do right there.
That's why you and I can't go to those fancy restaurants where they do that, because I'm eating the bone in the restaurant. I don't care that I'm wearing a tuxedo. I'm eating the bone in the restaurant.
I'm eating a corn on the cob, just going all around that thing.
And all those hoity-toity people sitting around us, if they don't eat their bone, they're going to pass that along over to Ben and Kyle.
I do that with chicken wings. Yeah. My daughter loves chicken wings. I'll finish those things off too. She's got a little. She leaves a lot of meat on the bone.
That's how we get the dad bods, because we eat our meal and then we're sitting with our kids, whatever they don't eat. We gotta continue to eat what our kids don't eat too. So
there you go.
like
For
we
the
had two
brand.
meals at one. So, hey, we'll talk about when to pick up next time around. How about that?
That's fine. That's fine. That was too good. That was too good to ignore.
No, with that dropping right there. So you guys make sure you subscribe wherever you get your podcasts as well. Go to YouTube, up those subs. We appreciate it. Leave comments. We'd love to talk to you as well. Shoot that to us and follow us on, I would say Twitter. I guess it's called X now, but whatever. We'd love to chat with you as well. Not only do we have the Dad Bod, Golf Pod Twitter, but we also have our individuals that you see below us as well. So
Instagram too. A lot more
Instagram.
content.
That's right. We're gonna matter of fact, we'll have some probably out a little bit later on today. And so you guys check that out as well. So it's been the Dad Bod Golf Pod, and we're
always stroking.